Bill, what do we know about the discussion between the two leaders?
Well, Kirsten, it was very long, more than 2 hours, and there have been readouts from both sides. Obviously, 2 hours of talks between the world's two most powerful men. These relatively short readouts only give us a very broad idea of what they discuss. But it is interesting the priorities that they bring up. So the Chinese side came out first and stressed that economic issues were discussed, in particular the need for America and China to work together to try and maintain things like industrial supply chains and so forth. Now, why is Beijing stressing this? Because its economy is slowing down and growing at a very slow rate. Whereas the American side came out and said that the two sides were committed to working together on issues like climate change, which probably has a lot more domestic interest in the US than it does in China. But of course, the elephant in the room, which quite obviously was discussed and was mentioned by both sides, is Taiwan. And the Chinese statement said that the Americans need to honour their commitments to abide by what China calls the One China principle, basically not to support Taiwan independence. And the American side came out and said that it does not support Taiwanese independence, but what it is opposed to is any one side trying to change the status quo. And Kirsten, that language basically means China needs to hold back on military aggressive actions.
And so, Bill, what exactly is the status of the proposed trip by the US Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan?
Yeah, so this is why the whole Taiwan issue has flared up again. It's not confirmed. Basically, the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and some other members of the US Congress are reportedly planning a trip through Asia, and it would include a stop in Taiwan. Now, her office has not confirmed this or denied this. It's obviously in the works because other people involved in the trip have come out and said that it appears to still be going ahead. The Taiwan government itself says that it doesn't have any definite information on the trip. We don't know exactly when in August this is supposed to take place, but it would be the most high-profile visit in 25 years. There hasn't been a US House Speaker coming to this island in 2.5 decades. And although Nancy Pelosi was originally scheduled to come here in April, it was scuttled because of COVID. This time around, there's obviously a lot of pushback from the Biden White House, which doesn't have any control over the travel of congressional members. But the White House and some members of the US military seem to think that her visiting Taiwan at this point, when Xi Jinping is leading up to a 20th Party Congress later this year. There's a lot of domestic pressure in China. There seems to be some thought, Kirsten, that it's just a particularly provocative move in the eyes of the Chinese government. This is what a White House spokesman, Ned Price, had to say.
It's not for us to speak to any potential travel of any member of Congress, and that includes the Speaker of the House in this case. I understand that her office has not announced or confirmed any travel. What it is for us to do, on the other hand, is to provide members of Congress, including, of course, the Speaker of the House, with relevant information and context for any potential travel. That includes security considerations, that includes geopolitical considerations, but we're just not going to detail any such conversations.
So, Kirsten, you can see from that the White House doesn't seem particularly keen on Nancy Pelosi coming over here. The Chinese government has used various measures, including its state media, to put out vague warnings of what it could do in response, things like more military drills, even suggestions that perhaps Chinese warplanes might try and accompany Ms. Pelosi's plane in international or even Taiwanese airspace. But the US military has also said they don't believe the Chinese will do anything particularly rash. So watch this space.
Okay, China correspondent Bill Birtles in Taipei.